I want to validate that this actually works, like the steam system works. It looks like I saved it after I deleted all the pumps, so first thing I'll have to do is either put pumps in, put impellers in, or just run the pipes without any of that. This was built before pressure, so it might not need any pumps. I think those were the only ones I deleted. So no pumps. The electrical system in here, I guess it probably went through a lot of pumps. As in, the electrical connections probably all went through those pumps to the battery. Now there's a relay here which connects to those sliding doors at the back. There's pumps down there which are fuel pumps, so they are required. And I think I can just probably do that, and I suspect it's probably all connected. Door close? Yeah. So I'll turn it on and see what happens. Temperature's going up, so something is happening. Holy moly. What the hell is this? That furnace sounds a bit angry as well. So there's no pumps in this system. There's also, I don't know if there's a water top-up. That might be what this tank here is. Water top-up for the boiler. The motors are going, but the wheels aren't moving. So there's a clutch here, which comes off the motors. That has no electricity, so that won't do anything. Why do I have that clutch there, actually? Well, now I don't think that is a good idea at all. No clutches? No clutches. Oh, we're moving. Good, it works. Not too much tweaking to get it to work. That black smoke is a bit crazy though. And it's very, very quick. Much too quick. 300 kilometers too quick. So what I need is TCP. This display I'm going to get rid of, and it'll just be a 1x2, which will be the decoupled display. And then a lot of this can change, and I can probably get away with putting an instrument panel up here to act as maybe lights. It is a bit high up, that's all. So for decouple it's okay because you look up and it's the only thing you need to be looking at. But for light switches, maybe it's a bit too high. Then with all these pipes, I don't need them to route so mentally anymore because they're not using pumps. So I think we will try and make it as smooth pipe to the end. So I can get rid of all this, and then maybe that will help free up some space for some visual stuff. Now the exhaust will definitely be coming out these three top things. It'll just be, how do I get the pipes to get up there? And then all these controls, some of them will not be needed. And because I know that the littlest train works, I'm going to strip it down and find all the microcontrollers. I know roughly where they are. There's a couple in the doors that are not TCP related. I think that's all the microcontrollers to make TCP work. It's not much, eh? I'm mostly certain there are also invisible blocks through here. So I cut that and delete it, and that should have cut out all the invisible stuff. So some of this UI is what I need. This thing here, I need display controller. The display controller I'm only using for lights and for the decouple interface. So that thing there, I'm going to modify a lot. This thing here is the light box. I'm going to modify a lot. Then we have a decouple front and rear, which I need to keep. This thing here, the ECU, I don't need. Some other decouple stuff. So that's basically all I've got to fit in here. And then up here we've already got an interior light, a door controller, track switch, a reverse button. A lot of this stuff needs to be, oh, this thing here, start everything, might be a TCP thing. Some of this can go inside the TCP UI controller. And I think some of it might even be doubled up. But now that that is off the roof, I can fill this in. And then I need to get rid of these constant numbers. I don't really know what I'm doing with these. Like, what is this? Dash rotation. Doesn't need its own little thing. And there's another one in here. Not doing anything. Okay, so first thing, I want to get this exhaust pipe and poke it out through these three. I think there might be a radiator somewhere in the top or something. There was some reason I couldn't do it because there's a pipe running through the middle. I don't know what this hole is for. I think it was just visual so that if you did happen to look down, you would be looking inside the engine. But if that is the case, what I actually need to do, I need a pipe that can run along the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up through here and then poke forwards, and then I'll be using an air ram, and hopefully as it's moving the smoke will come out, and then it probably needs to be up the top really, because you don't want the smoke to be coming out of anywhere except the very tip. You do see the air ram if you look close enough. And then so these three pipes, these come along through the roof and will go off to the side like that. I'm not sure where the connection is to the engine, but doing that will allow you to see through if you are looking down. And then it comes up through here, so wherever that one goes to. And then this pipe needs to redirect as well. So all my exhaust is basically coming along this side. That's all exhaust pipes now, which means that's exhaust pipe. And that light for this pipe is not in the way. And so this one here will just go straight down. And I think this is okay. So on the front of this one is where the exhaust needs to enter. And then I just need to go through and cover all that up. Cut out where the holes should be. Well, even that one's not correct, is it? Actually, like, it doesn't even need to exist, does it? Hole. Because it's getting piped into the funnel, not coming up through the roof. Done. Done? Probably. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing about this though. I want to have this bar thing that comes up and connects into where the funnels are, but then here it like drops off, and then at the back it connects again. So I might use a pipe. No, that looks weird. It's got to be straight through, I reckon. Which then, like, this piece should probably have a solid section in the back. Okay, so controllers, what have we got? Battery, this is just interface stuff, so... And on here, there's like a pressure gauge. Yeah, boiler pressure. There is no boiler pressure anymore, so that's not helpful. The indicator for the generators is just to say that electricity is being produced, so that can probably change to something else. We've got boiler temperature and furnace temperature. I guess that's kind of helpful information. This thing here, master, request master, release master, and ignition. That's a bit of a mixture of UI and TCP. So we'll need a controller to interpret that. And then over here, fuel level, battery, nothing, and the reverse button. Then we've got a track switch and a speed. And then decouple is going to be on here, on this little display. The only other things would be like a heater for when you're in the Arctic and your different light options. So I wonder if I put a button on here for the heater. And I want to see how this dash rotates. Oh, it's not going to, is it? Because I deleted the thing. So I can see just in front here, which could be good for light switches. And up here is kind of annoying for light switches. Or even by this window could be good. This also seems like it's tilted too much. I guess having lights up here is okay because it's the kind of thing you turn on and then you leave. And the only lights that I've really got, let's have a look at what they are on the light box. Hazard lights? There are no hazard lights. Oh, I don't need this. Yeah, I don't need that. Okay. Rear high beams. Rear high beams. I don't have high beams. I don't have high beams. I have tail. No, I have rear headlights. It's these lights down the bottom, the spotlights. I'm just going to connect stuff and then delete the things that are not connected. Front headlights are the spotlights on the front. I have decorative lights, which are not decorative in my mind. They're like running lights. They would turn on when the key is on, but it's good to be able to completely black out your light systems. So I'll connect them to decorative. And then the other two are the RGB lights. Front RGB is this top one. And this back one is the rear RGB. And then everything else on there can be deleted. Let's get a heater. You probably don't need a heater because the boiler's so close. What if I put the heater in here? That's kind of a weird place. Down and behind here would be good though. You don't even know it's there and it won't bother anyone. Heater button is on there. And then for lights, we have decorative lights and headlights. I think there's only two, right? Decorative and headlights. And then the throttle, I will change it to be 120 max value. So it's like, it's a speed detecting thing or a speed set, so 0 and to 120. I think this whole side section could be replaced with something else. Something more interesting could go on here, maybe even a bed. And I also probably need Arctic equipment. I wonder if I can hide that somewhere in a wall or... I like that this is open for repairability, so I don't know if I want to close it completely. Okay, so the stuff here is like UI information probably needs to come through to this controller. Get rid of that. Doors can stay on its own thing. The speed can stay on its own thing. And the interior light can be on its own thing. The throttle needs to go away. The start everything. And then, oh no, this is so badly named. What is this? Track switch radio. I'm gonna try furnace. See, I don't know why I have furnace control and start everything. Furnace ignition plus coolant pumps. Coolant pumps? There's nothing's, that's a radiator that's not connected. Why do you have a coolant pump? Why do you have a, what? Furnace temperature, air valve, and furnace ignition should be the only things. Yeah, you turn the switch on and the thing turns on. Furnace fuel level and the fuel valve. This is another thing, and this also takes the same signal. So this is just another thing that turns the fan on to look like it's going, and it controls the valve. So actually I need to merge these two controllers together. At least that's a real simple one. So because the diesel furnaces just eat whatever fuel is given to them, and you don't want it to do that, because then if there's no way to get it back out. So furnace control is the one we want to keep, and the thing I need to add to this, so I need a fuel valve, and I need to know the fuel level as well, which I think is the furnace fuel level. So this is stopping it from eating too much fuel. It still eats more fuel than it should, because the threshold is 0 and 1, meaning if it's got less than 1 liter of fuel in it, which maybe even might be good to run it into a negative number for the minimum, for the low threshold, then I mean I've been watching it and it eats like 5 liters of fuel. So if the switch is on to say run the engine, then it'll check if the fuel level is less than 1 and then it will open the fuel valve. So it's always just giving it a little bit of fuel. So then I can get rid of this thing, and the fuel valve was this thing here, I think. Yes, you connect to here to refuel it, which then goes through, and I think it goes up through this pump and then into here, and then when you want to, wait, what? And then when the engine needs fuel, it also picks it up through that port, and then it goes up through this pipe. I guess that makes sense. I guess. I mean, it works, right? So I've got the diesel level, temperature, and then the other thing for furnace ignition, I'm going to connect to that fan, so when the switch is on, that fan looks like it's running and doing something, even though it's not. It's a decorative fan. Then the equipment trays, and then this is a dash thing, right? So all of these instruments are going to be connected onto the same system. So we want to deal with this thing, TCP UI. This thing up here I kind of need to keep, because this is just if it's in reverse or not. That's what this switch box is doing, so this will need to be connected to reverse, but otherwise this is the throttle and the brakes. And then the rest of it is pretty custom, I think. Request and release master I will need to keep. Do I need an electronics switch? There's space down here if I want that. What I'm going to do is connect this monitor directly to the player sensor, because you won't be able to see it anyway if you're not in here. Also, why is that player sensor like that? From here to here to here to here, back to there. Oh, we need to go into the panel somewhere, so this one here will go over to the panel. Dash panel, dash panel. And now we need to do all the correct channels, so fuel on 1, I'll need a notepad for this. Okay, channel 1, fuel level. Channel 2, battery level. Channel 3, heater toggle. Channel 4, reverse toggle. And then we come over here and I'll go, I guess we're going up. So this will be 5 will be furnace temperature. And then 6 will be boiler temperature. I guess it's important to know that stuff in case you're going to explode. 7 and 8, currently nothings, but we reserve those channels. And then we come up to here and we go 9. So we'll say this is master. Number 10 is request master, release master. 12, ignition. And then we're up to here, which we'll have to do 13, 14, 15, 16. It's kind of annoying. But if I don't give them their own individual channels, there's a good chance that I'll just mess something up when I'm trying to like feed it back into itself and it's rewriting over some other thing. It's just not worth it. So engine temperature on here and interior light don't necessarily need to be here. So these two things going out, pretty sure those, yeah, they're connected into another TCP controller, so I don't need to change what it's doing here. But on the composite where it's being read out, that's where it needs to be doing something different. We've also got this thing main both. So this sends the signal to request the master, and this sends the signal to release it, and then main both channel 3 or channel 1 is the thing that's saying it is the master. So this needs to be on channel 9. I'm just going to push this out to 16 because I'm stupid and can't be bothered figuring it out. I'm looking for number 9. Goes like that. We've got battery level, which will be channel 2, fuel level, channel 1, engine RPS. I guess we don't actually have an RPS because the steam just goes and it makes steam, and you know. So I think I'll delete the engine RPS node off here. This thing, engine temperature, we don't need because we have steam, we have a boiler and a furnace temperature instead. It's likely this controller needs to get a lot bigger. We have the heater output. Let's turn the heater on. There is no electronics. This engine on will be channel 12. Oh, but that's controlled over here, isn't it? Where's that? This thing, furnace control. No, that just needs system on signal. So I will read this channel 12, and that can come off the chain somewhere, probably off there. And then on the TCP one, I don't need electronics or engine on. This thing here, interior light. What am I doing here? I'm checking if... What is this? Is this like 4 buttons for a single door? That doesn't make sense. What it's doing is it's checking if the door is open, and if the door is open or the player is detected... what the heck is this? This is stupid. Basically, when it's off, this is just stupid. I'm getting rid of this. This one makes way more sense. So there is no player detection from this thing here to turn it on. Okay, I think I need an interior light switch, which I could put it on the bottom of this. Not really any problems doing that. I had thought up here would be really cool. What does that look like? It's very difficult to see. Easy enough to interact with, but very difficult to see. Whereas if I put them down here, I kind of want to use the space for more engine management stuff. I wonder if there's an excuse to have some kind of pivot up here. It'd have to be like, yeah, in here, and then basically just another light instrument panel. I can see now it's just not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. I really don't want to go up that high anyway. What if I put it... There's no button here, so what if I do it like in the door maybe? In the side of the wall? Hopefully the dash rotates away from it. That's not bad. It's like lined up with these three. It is kind of weird, but you can see it, so that's good. I think I'm going to do that. That's honestly an easy solution. So this comes up to 16, I think, and then this one here will need to be, I'm going to go 17, 18. I'm just going to keep that number 1 slot available in case I realize I need another something somewhere. So this TCP will now, the controller will now come into this one instead of this bottom one, and the bottom one will go into there. So the chain's still intact. So if there is if the player is detected and the light switch is not on, then we're going to comp switch box over to this thing here, which I'm just going to say 30%. And I'm going to change, this is the no lights player detected interior light value. So that's like if you were approaching the locomotive, you wouldn't be able to see anything when you first go to get into it because the lights will be off. So this will at least detect that you're in the area and the lights are off, and it'll give it a faint glow so that you can see what you're doing. Then, so 18 is that the button has been pressed, which means I can only have a yes or a no. So an up-down counter won't work for this situation then. And so then we'll say if you are inside, or if you've turned the lights on, the lights will go to 100%. And so that'll be the off signal. Yeah. Very bulky for a light system, but you know, you'll be able to see when you're not in the loco, and then you'll be able to see when you turn the lights on, so that's good. I think what I need is like another instrument panel. Yes, how about that? Yeah, I can rotate this block in behind here so that I can only see the top row, and then it doesn't obstruct the switch, and I can just have it as like indicator lights or something. So this one here, dash rotation, we're going to extend this to be too long. We've got low dash rotation and high dash rotation, and that is a property number. We'll go, was it 6.5? And then in here I need to get rid of these bottom ones. They're not visible at all, but then I can get rid of this for the lights. We can go back to not needing that, and it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh. And does it work? Ooh. I've definitely broken TCP's display. So I've got my ignition. My temperatures are not reading anything. I need to request master. Something's gone wrong. If I press reverse, oh, it's not a toggle. My interior light works, that's good. None of these will work because I don't know what I'm doing about the headlights, and I don't know what I'm doing about the having the light systems communicate between the train. All that black smoke. It's not making it out of that very front one though, it's only coming out of the rear too. So it might not be enough smoke is being generated to make it up to the front pipe. Like it's all venting out of the first two before it gets there, which is okay. It does look a bit weird, but it's okay. And I've got no master coming through, so I don't know if I am the master or not. Oh, another thing is there's that clutch I put in there and I didn't give it any value, so even if I was the master, it's not going anywhere. I don't actually remember why I put this in here. Also, now that I've put everything in here, it's going to be so much harder to figure out why it's not working. Yes, we is the master. Also, so furnace temperature and boiler temperature don't read anything. But I am the master now. That thing is on the roof, should be engaging it. So when this starts moving, when the pistons are moving, I should be able to move. I've got fuel, I've got 5,000 litres of diesel. That's the entire fuel store that you begin with in Korea. Just sitting in this. Okay, give it some throttle. We're going! And the speed's not connected. Speed sensor not connected. I also don't have a speed sensor connected for TCP, so I'm telling it to go 10, but TCP doesn't know what 10 is. So it's just like, let's go, and we end up going whatever this is, which seems more like 200 kilometers like it was doing before. It's actually pretty reasonable. If it is only doing like 120, I need to put another speed sensor on here. So I have one speed sensor which gives me this speed output so you can read something, and then I have another speed sensor which outputs in meters per second and sends that into TCP so that it knows how much this is on the throttle. So the throttle is 10, it should only be 10 kilometers, and TCP interprets this as go 10 kilometers. Whereas yeah, it doesn't, I'm not telling it anything useful right now, so it's just going for it. And then we've got reverse, which, it does kind of seem like I'm slowing down, which is good. TCP does this, where it'll apply the brakes and it won't let you slip, and then chucks it into reverse. The interior light works, and if this is off, and the player sensor is detecting, I'm not seeing that it's on, so I think The interior light is broken on player sensor. My door works, my heater probably works, but it's hard to tell because I'm in the desert, so it's always hot. I also need backlights. Backlights no work. And I'll probably put a light down at the bottom as well. Well, there you go. More TCP. That's how I converted my littlest train TCP logic over to running on the steam diesel. There's a couple more things I need to do to make it like final, but it's really just getting the instrument panels connected correctly and some of the interior lights. It's really good that the steam system on this is still working somehow. I need to get my couplers connected and my lights. And then I think I want to do a little bit of exterior design to get some of the shapes a bit nicer, because this side that we're looking at right now is quite detailed, but the other side is just a flat wall, and I would like to clean that up a little bit. And then once I've got this one done, I'm going to make a longer, bigger version. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.